Hello everyone, this is Lucy. I am joined today by Cam.
Hello, Lucy.
Now Cam, we have, this is our second Learn to Play Hearthstone video.
Yep.
Last video you took me through the basics of the game.
Absolute
so
basics.
like the total bare bones
Yep.
for Hearthstone for dummies essentially. Well actually this whole series is Hearthstone for dummies, but that first one was for particular dummies, particularly dummies.
This is like if you can't be bothered doing the tutorials in the game, you just want to see somebody play it and learn to play it, that was it.
That was it. So now we're going to get into it a little bit more.
We've got a few different options now, actually.
All right, well, let's hear them.
Okay, so option number one is we could play another game as the Mage in practice mode, and you could kind of steer a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Option number two is we could try playing a different class. Option number three is we could go and open a couple of card packs, and because what I've done is I've built just a really, really basic... Actually, I should go back to the card manager, sorry. I've built like a really basic deck with just the cards that are available.
Right.
So this is Mage again, which is what we played last time.
Yep.
But I've just used a few different cards because the Mage deck they start you out with is not all that optimal. So I've just kind of made a slightly stronger deck with the cards we have.
You can build your own deck.
That's the entire crux of Hearthstone. That's what makes it such a magical game.
So
is surprising people with your own take on how minions and spells and stuff interact in your own. People, reinvent the way a particular class is played to do something different, and
so it's not like regular cards where you just get random cards every time.
No. You have a deck of 30 cards. So this is the 30 cards that I've got, right?
Yeah.
And so and that's part of the skill is knowing. These are the 30 cards I have, and then when you're 20 cards in and you need a particular card, and you go, okay, there's 10 cards left. What are the odds that I'm going to draw it? And that kind of factors in to working out the odds of, if you're going to get what you need, or if they have, the one thing that can counteract what you're doing in their hand. Like, what are the odds of that?
Yep.
So it's a big part of it. So
well, I'm keen. I mean, personally, I'm really keen to see some of the more advanced interactions between minions and spells and such and that sort of thing. So maybe we should play with your custom deck.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's open. We can buy a couple of packs.
Yep.
Let's open them, see if there's anything that we can chuck into the custom deck.
Yep.
And then we'll play that. But when the custom deck is still like a beginner deck.
Right.
There's still no fancy cards whatsoever.
Yep.
But what we might do later in this series is hop across to the North American account that I have, where I've got essentially 90% of the cards in the game.
Okay.
And we can play like a much more high level deck to give you an idea of how you need to think when you're playing against people who are really good and with a whole bunch of really amazing cards. So let's just drag this pack. So
I take it that some people just have the best cards that you could possibly get and they're just fairly unbeatable?
No. That's not really how it works.
Right. So it's all about strategy.
I think the thing is, like, when you're starting out in the game, because you can kind of... all right, so what do we got here? We've got So there are... Another thing I should point out is that there are neutral cards, which can be played by all classes, and then there are class-specific cards. And so that's what gives each class its flavor a lot of the time, is the unique cards that only it can play.
Right.
So Harvest Golem's a really good one to get. That's a really useful minion. So we'll definitely put that in our deck. And this is, this kind of interacts with weapons.
Right.
So we don't really need to worry about that. Sorry, and we've got 100 gold as well. So we're just going to buy a pack of cards with that.
So gold is...
So you earn gold by completing kind of daily challenges and by competing in the arena, which is another mode. We'll get into that kind of stuff later.
Right.
So what I was saying was that having a good set of cards is obviously really important, but when you're starting out, you're playing against other players with a similar kind of level to you.
Yep.
And so the more you play, the more cards you collect, the better your kind of decks get. The more chances are you're going to play against players of with similar kind of card collections. So the people I play against the players I play against, I generally expect they're going to have exactly what they want to be in their deck.
Yep.
And I'm kind of at the stage where if I build a deck, because when you're starting out, you see somebody play a deck and you kind of have to go, oh, I don't have that card, so what could I replace it with?
Yeah.
What would function the same way? But I've kind of been playing for long enough now that I obviously just can pretty much build whatever deck I want, and it's a really fun place to be, but it's taken a long time to get there. Alright, so it's a Hunter, Druid, Silverhand Knight, it's okay. Cone of Cold, that's a Mage card. So that was that. Yeah. So Cone of Cold is a spell that does 1 damage to 3 minions and freezes them.
Yep.
So you didn't really get a sense for it with our Mage experience so far, but Mage is very much about like there's a style of Mage play that's called Freeze Mage, where you're basically kind of shutting your opponent down, freezing their minions, not letting them do anything. It's a very particular way to play the game.
Right.
So yeah, so in this deck I've added in like Frost Bolts, and so Cone of Cold I guess is an option, but let's get the Harvest Golem in there because that's a good 3-drop. So yeah, so you can have 2 of any card in your deck apart from legendary cards, where you can only have 1.
Okay.
And they're the rarest cards, and they're also typically the cards with the most profound kind of abilities.
Right.
So that's why it's only one per deck.
One thing that I found really interesting that you mentioned in our last video is that Hearthstone is a game which is less about stats and more about the abilities that card carries.
Oh no, it's about both.
But I mean that's what gives it its sort of distinct flavor, right? Like it's less about kind of the raw numbers and more about the way that you can manipulate certain abilities. Yeah,
like the way to think about it is that there are certain cards that just offer really good vanilla value, right? Mm-hmm. So a card like Chillwind Yeti costs 4 mana to cast, and it's got 4 attack and 5 health. That's a really solid body on the board, but it doesn't do anything in addition to that. Whereas for 4 mana is a Sen'jin Shieldmaster, which has 1 less attack point, same health, but it has Taunt. So by getting Taunt, you lose 1 attack.
Yep.
And so there are cards where they have, their kind of health and attack out of whack to how much they cost, but they've got an ability that's so powerful that it kind of counterbalances. So it's all about weighing up like whether it's kind of worth it to include those cards or not.
Okay, so that's one of the key kind of factors to think about when building a deck.
Yeah. Hey, should we just play against somebody online? I don't know. Like we might just be taking ages. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay, so we'll take our basic deck online.
Yep.
And we'll start at rank 25, and let's just see what happens. This could be really embarrassing.
Yeah,
because
but
who knows?
Hey,
who
that's
we're going to come
that's
up
good
against.
TV, my friend. That is good TV.
So maybe I should have run you through some of the stuff that was different in this Mage deck as compared to the one we played before.
That's okay.
But I think we'll just kind of roll with it.
Yep.
So what I've tried to do is, as I said, we don't have many cards to play with, but I've just tried to kind of fill out the mana curve so that at each stage of the game, we can try and have a creature that costs the appropriate amount of mana. So that's essentially when you're building a deck, you want something that fills in the 1 mana slot, the 2, and in Hearthstone it's called like 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, that kind of idea.
Yep.
So you basically want to curve out, which means you want to try and use all your mana each turn, because ultimately that's going to give you an advantage. So if you float mana, that can kind of put you on the back foot.
Okay. All right, we're playing against another Mage.
Who just quit. So long, Kraz.
Oh, you automatically win when they quit?
Yep. And so we just got another card pack for playing a game online.
Okay.
And then we get a new quest. So by the way, 100 gold can buy you a card pack.
Right.
So let's just hop straight back in.
So I'm curious. So Cam, you've built right now, and again, you've probably run through this, and I've just totally have sort of failed to understand. But you have built a deck now that you're going to take online.
Yep.
A deck of 30?
Of 30 cards.
That you're going to take online, that you've basically custom built.
Except it's, just using the most basic cards in the game.
Yep.
So it really comes down to whether, if we're playing against another beginner, then we'll have an okay chance.
Yeah.
If we're playing against somebody who somehow is at level 25, which is the lowest level, and has, I guess we'll have to see. So this is the mulligan stage.
Yep.
And what this means is we've got 4 cards. We're going second, by the way, which is why we've got 4 cards. And these have been drawn randomly from the deck, and we can choose whether to keep them or not. Now, these are all 4 to 6 mana cards, and that means we've got no early game. So we toss them all back because we want 1, 2, or 3 mana minions.
I totally get it. And now you can choose a second round of cards, but you can only do that once.
So we automatically get... The second round of cards is the cards we start with.
Yeah.
So we haven't really done all that well.
Well, at least you've got that one.
We've got the Water Elemental, which we can coin into.
Yep.
And this 1 mana, we're not going to cast this because it's that's something we should save to try and eliminate minions.
Okay.
So we're just going to pass. So we're playing against another priest, funnily enough.
At least we know his strategy.
Well, his strategy could be almost anything. Okay, so now he has just... So this has got 0 attack but 4 health.
Yep.
So he's basically laying
taunt.
He's laying this down so that he can play minions with less health but more attack behind it, which you can't get to. But I say what we do is we just wait, because what we ultimately want to do is get this guy on the board on turn 3 using the coin.
Now, why is that?
So, because this guy can chew through this guy.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we'll cast our hero power.
Yep.
Which takes that guy down to 3, and then when we play this guy, he has 3 attack, so we'll kill him, and then whatever he plays now, although he might heal this guy, but that would just be
counterproductive.
That would be a huge waste of his turn. And that's what
he's going to do it.
Well, he might not have anything else to play.
Right.
But that's a massive waste of his turn. Which is exactly what we want.
You could just turn him into a sheep.
I could, but this is a 1 mana creature.
Right.
So we want to save the sheep. The sheep is that's our get out of jail card.
I get it.
He plays something that is just enormous and is going to drive us into the ground.
Yeah, you just panic and you turn him into a sheep.
Well, yeah, you do.
No.
Maybe without the panicking, but I guess we'll see. When you're playing,
I just know
when I put you in control, we're going to be sheeping everything.
That is exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay.
When I actually take the keyboard and mouse for the first time, I'm just going to be sheeping all over the place.
So this is an interesting minion because its attack is always equal to its health. So it has 5 health right now, which means it has 5 attacks. So this guy's dangerous because Priest has cards that can double its health and thereby double its attack. So I think... And also, if we do a little bit of damage to it, say we threw this Frostbolt at it and did 3 damage, and that would take it down to be a 2-2, he could then heal it back up to a 4-4.
But then he would have used all his...
Yeah, so I know this is crazy, but I'm going to sheep it.
Right. Yay!
And then that guy's... he can't attack anyway.
Yeah.
But... And what that also means is these arcane missiles... 3 damage randomly split among enemy characters.
Yep.
So they've both got 1 health. I mean, he's probably just going to heal him back up. But anytime you got... Oh. Why did he do that? He could have healed that guy back up to 4. That was a really odd thing to do.
Oh, he just attacked you with his sheep.
With the sheep, yeah. So what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to kill... you know what? We're going to cast a couple of our arcane missiles, see what they hit, and just go from there.
So they're scattershot.
Yep. So that's great. And then we can go kill that. This has actually worked out perfectly. So we've just decimated his board, and then we can boost this guy up. So this character...
What has this character got?
So this character has okay stats for 3 mana, so 3 attack, 2 health. Generally speaking, if it's 3 mana, it either has 3 attack, 4 health, or 4 attack, 3 health. But because it's got slightly reduced stats, its battle cry is give a friendly minion +1/+1.
Right.
So that's why this guy has 4/7 now instead of 3/6.
Yep.
So he's just tossed this guy out to kill the Shattered Sun Cleric, and he's going to heal him back up.
Okay.
But he can heal that for as much as he wants because he'll heal it back up to 4 health, and we can still kill it.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. It's all about going like, okay, what can I play that's gonna kill his stuff in one go? So he didn't even bother healing. He healed himself because he knows we're just going to kill it.
Yep.
So our options here, I reckon we should draw a couple of cards.
Yep.
And see what we get. Okay, Fireball is good for later on. Wish we had one more mana so we could play that, but we don't. So...
I mean, do you want to get rid of that little minion and just, like, go to town on the hero?
I think what we want to do is we want to Frostbolt the minion, hit him in the face, and just keep our minion without taking any damage.
Yep.
So let's just do that. So, freezing an enemy hero can be really valuable because there are certain classes, certain hero classes that wield weapons, like Rogue and Paladin and Warrior. And so if they've got a weapon equipped, which goes up on this side, if you freeze them, they can't use the weapon on their turn.
Now, he's just brought out one of his big guns.
Yep.
Generally, would you say that when that starts happening, it means that they're, you know, they don't have much else left in terms of their arsenal, and they're just going...
No, he's just trying to swing the board back in his favour.
Right.
Because he knows we can't kill this just with this minion.
Okay.
So we've got to have another answer in our hand, and thankfully we do. So what we could do is we could Frostbolt it to do 3 damage and freeze it, which means it can't attack.
Yep.
And then we could play our Chillwind Yeti.
Now, I'm very curious to see what the Chillwind Yeti does.
You know what we should do? We should do that because we've got Flame Strike, which is 4 damage to all enemy minions. So if we freeze him with 4 health, that means if we Flame Strike next turn, it'll kill it.
Okay.
So we'll just freeze that guy. We're going to... You know what, though? I think what... No. We'll play this guy. And we'll just ignore that guy because he's only got 2 attacks, so I'm not too worried about him.
Oh, he's thinking.
So it's fun, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's totally fun. It's just, you know,
Oh, we forgot about the hero power! That's okay.
That goddamn hero power. Yeah, I mean, it's also really interesting to watch. Like, it's quite a fascinating game. It's a really easy interface.
Yeah. So straightforward to get into.
Yeah. I do think it's really... I haven't actually played a match myself yet, obviously. But I do think having this little sort of history bar on the left-hand side here is really beneficial, just so you can actually kind of... I don't know, just stay on top of what's actually being played.
Yep.
Because it can move really fast.
Yep. And that's it. Like, if you kind of alt-tab off to do something, you look at your phone or something, then you can come back and... Okay, so he's realised that even though he healed this guy, he's still within fireball range.
Right.
So that's why he played a card that drew him a card and gave this guy 2 attack.
Yep.
2 health, sorry. And then he's played a minion with charge, but who's really weak.
Wow, what's that? What?
It's a Murloc.
That was cool.
Alright, so... If we Flame Strike now, it'll kill this, but this guy will be left with 4 health, which means we have to sacrifice this guy to kill it. Yeah, so I'm not too sure what we should do. We could sheep it. Sheeping it might be a good option, because if you think about it, even though we've already thrown a Frostbolt at it, he has then healed it and he spent another card to boost it back up. So in terms of like kind of the cards that have been played, it kind of works out roughly even.
Yep.
So let's just sheep it.
Yep.
And then that leaves us...
The sheep is so brutal.
With 4 mana. So we could kill this guy, but then we wouldn't be able to play anything, or we could play this guy, but then he'll die to the sheep. You know what? Let's just play board control.
Yep.
And let's just do some damage.
Nice.
So we didn't use a couple of mana on that turn, but that's okay. You don't always have to use all your mana. It's just a good rule of thumb to try and work out what the most mana efficient play is.
And I presume, I suppose one of the good things about really whistling down the priest is that his heal power soon becomes kind of...
That's right.
Redundant, right?
The heal power it is actually quite a powerful ability, but yeah, once you have like a bunch of stuff on the board, you start snowballing, and so healing for 2 at a time is not going to help him.
Yeah.
But I mean, that competes with our minions, so he did that because that way, if we want to freeze this guy, this guy dies.
Okay.
All right. You know what we might do? We might... think what we're going to do is we're going to play this guy. And then we're going to play this guy. And then we're going to use our hero power.
Yep.
And we're going to trade with this guy. And then we're going to hit him in the face. So now we're building up a big board.
Yep.
So he might have a spell called Holy Nova.
Yep.
Which does 2 damage to all our minions and heals his minions and himself for 2. But if he casts that, like, he'll kill this and he'll kill this, but damaging this guy will boost his attack, won't kill this, then he'd have 5 mana to play with. But I mean, by the looks of things, he doesn't have those kind of cards.
Right.
Not that it's an advanced card or anything, but you know, he's a starter as well.
Yep.
So here's where we can do something kind of a little fancy. Although, when we can just kill that with Flame Strike. We can kill it with Fireball. Oh, this is going to be awesome, Lucy.
All right.
Although, hang on, let's count up how much damage we've got, right?
Yep.
We've got 4, 8. We can boost this guy up to 5, so that's 13, 16. So we can kill him. So watch this. I love this little trick.
Okay.
You can use your hero power to attack your own minion.
Yeah.
So you damage him and boost his attack up to 5.
Oh, this is a thing of beauty.
And that was that.
Amazing.
So yeah, so you can see by controlling the board
Yep.
and just gradually getting more and more of an advantage over him, we were just able to just demolish him in a single turn. And that's a really crucial part, is like keeping your eye on how much damage you've got, because we could have wasted resources killing that minion, but we didn't need to, because that's the thing, is like it's all about the hero's health.
Yep.
The minions are just there to, you know, to
sacrifice themselves for the greater good, right?
So yeah.
Well, look, that was awesome.
Before we wrap this up, we've got one more pack. So
Okay.
let's just open it and see what we get. So what you're always hoping for is a kind of golden glow, because that tells you you've got a legendary.
Right.
And each card pack has one card that's rare or better.
Okay.
So this is the rare one. Okay, so that's not great. Paladin. Oh, we got another Harvest Golem. That's good. So now we've got 2 of those. So we can have 2 in our deck.
Okay, great. So you get a pack if you win.
No, we got a pack because we earned... Wait, I don't know. They set you missions, like there are these quests, daily quests, right? So right now we've got a quest, play 3 games in play mode. So we played 1. So once we've done 3, we get 100 gold, which we can then spend. We got the pack for, I think, just playing a game in play mode.
Right.
Yep. Cool.
Well, again, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to learning more about Hearthstone, because
Excellent.
The more I mean, you know, clearly it's quite an addictive game, but I got to say, the more I sort of watch it, the more I want to play.
Yeah.
I can, you know, I'm sort of starting to understand its depth. So
yeah, and it just has a learning curve that just goes on and on and on, because you got 9 classes to learn. They all play really differently, and there are different ways to play within each class.
Yep.
And then it's all kind of dependent on your card collection as well. So it's a super, super deep game.
Well, I'm looking forward to learning more, Cam Shay.
Cool.
And everyone, check out our next video where we will explore some more
classes, perhaps.
Some more classes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.